Yo, what's up, everybody? Bob Walters, Brett Grasso, Mark Mancini at the top of the show here today. What's up, fellas? How we doing? Happy New Year.
What's going on?
You know, it's great, man. What was the music? Was that Quiet Riot, Bang Your Head?
Yeah, I wrote that myself. I wrote that myself.
Yeah.
No copyright infringement. No copyright infringement.
Yeah.
So we got a big week 18, right? It's the new year. Let's real quick go over yesterday because I was shocked with what happened yesterday with the San Francisco just couldn't. I mean, last week against the Bears, they score every single possession, and then they come in and they can't do anything. I didn't think Seattle's defense. I thought Seattle was kind of a fraud because they haven't played well in like 4 or 5 weeks. They won all the games, but they haven't played well. And then they came in there and they dominated on the defensive side last night.
Well, when you look at this, you know, there's 3 things that stand out why teams are back in the mix. I look at the Rams, I look at the Steelers, and I look at the jackass from Detroit in the stands. And these guys kind of brought they kind of brought the Seahawks and the Ravens into this mix. The Seahawks were dead. The Rams should have won that game, and they would have knocked Seattle completely.
They should have lost to Rivers and the Colts too the week before.
Yep. So they kind of got these teams kind of remind me of like a cat. They got like 9 lives, and that's the thing. And the Ravens were left for dead at like 1-5 when the Steelers were sitting there 4-1, and then they let this team get back in. You know, and you can even go back to the World Series when the Blue Jays had the Dodgers at home for 2. If you don't put your foot completely on the gas to the end, these guys figure out a way. They're like cockroaches. They get out of this scenario they're in, and they multiply.
Yeah, and listen, it was crazy. It was crazy yesterday, and I think it's only going to be fitting if if Carolina backs into the playoff with that division, right? I mean, it's only fitting that they get in under 500, backs in with an Atlanta win today. What do you think about that, Mark? Go ahead.
I mean, look, you know, in 1977, the Steelers were trying to do the same thing. Not quite like this is, because now you got one team cheering for the one team, the other team cheering for the other team. But in 77, if you check your notes, it happened with the Oilers, and they were playing the Bengals, and the Steelers needed the Oilers to win. I think they won 10-9. In turn, they took up a collection to get all the Oilers like briefcases. So
nice.
Whoever wins this thing, yeah, you might want to. If the Buccaneers get the Saints to win, you might want to treat the Saints right, and vice versa.
And they hate the Saints.
They hate the Saints.
They're all rooting for them today.
The Saints screwed both of them because they beat both of them in consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And at the same time, screwing themselves and knocking themselves into a bad draft pick. It's like the Saints just can't help anybody.
Yeah. And here, you know what the worst scenario is, guys? Is one of these teams is going to host they're going to be a below 500 record, and they're going to host a 12-win, 13 team.
They're going to host San Francisco.
That brings up my next question. Which one of these teams puts up the best fight or can actually win this game? Because I honestly think Tampa can win that game at home versus anybody.
I think Atlanta can do it.
No, Atlanta can't get in. Atlanta can't get in.
No, Atlanta's out. That's the problem.
Atlanta can't get in. Atlanta can tie for first place, but they lose the tiebreakers.
Yeah, that would have been something, because I think they would.
That's what I said yesterday. Exactly what I said yesterday, Bob. I go, Atlanta's the team I'd be scared of, and it's just so incredible that, them not making it with Bijan, and, you look at how, the quarterback play. Now, all of a sudden you're like, wait, Carolina's terrible. The Bucs haven't played well this whole last half of the season. Who do you want in there?
Well, and not only that, how screwed up it is I think you'd have to go back to the Cleveland Browns, the last team that was below 500 that won a division.
No, I think it's happened a couple times. It's happened a couple times. Oh, the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago, but it's happened a couple times. It's usually the South. It's usually the NFC South, too. Carolina did it, Atlanta did it, Bucs did it.
Yeah. We saw this last year with the Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call it, that went into Tampa and beat them, and then went to Detroit and took them out. So,
you never know.
No, These are the scary teams. A lot of times these are like those major league wild card teams that they're sometimes the best team in baseball. They just played really bad the first half of the year. You know, they're the ones with the momentum. There's the guys with the healthy players. It all comes down to being healthy, having a good offensive line. The problem is there's only a couple good defenses in all of these teams going into the playoffs, and it's I think you're going to need that, right?
Team, yeah, this Seahawks team reminds me of the one, I think it was in 82. They went to Denver or something, beat Miami, and then they lost to the Raiders in the championship game. And they were on a roll. So this, I don't know. Seattle looks tough, but I still like the Rams and Eagles to come out of the NFC, which I said before. And I like New England, Jacksonville, or the Chargers on the other side, but I could have two of these teams playing each other in the first round.
Yeah, you could. And if you start talking Rams traveling to across the country or wherever they're going to
whoever it is, they're going to have to travel. It's going to be the West.
I know, but Rams at home, like that's it. Like, I know now it's looking and going into Seattle. That's not good for anybody. I think if Seattle was on the road for all those games, it was going to be, they were out early. But now I feel like it's a little different when you're going, you got to go and play there.
Yeah, but the Rams got the MVP in Stafford. They got a good thing. They just got to tighten up that, offensive, defensive line a little. But I like the Rams' chances. They've proven they can go into Philly and beat them. I like McVay over any one of these coaches.
Yeah,
Shanahan's he's a fraud. You can't. He has blown so many games with the Niners. It's something else. But I like McVay. They don't rebuild. They retool. And I'm not an LA guy by any means, but I like the Rams' chances to go into these cities and roll. And
the Rams are good. They got the MVP on the team. The quarterback's the MVP of the league. I don't care what you say. I don't care that he had because the one game, the game that he had a bad game in Atlanta. Fair enough. Fair, but that's not going to cost him.
Carolina too.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't have. Okay, yes, but he did it. He had a good game against the Seahawks. Right? He threw for like 500, 400 yards in that game. But they lost. But they lost. So I think he's the MVP. Now there's another.
The Bears are frauds. The Niners are frauds.
No, they all got rookie quarterbacks. It's going to be interesting to see what these rookie quarterbacks do when they get into the playoffs and it's time to really go. Now there's one game tonight. One game. The NFL kind of screwed themselves. There's really only two games that really matter. That one that we were talking about, and tonight your Steelers home against the Ravens. Going into last week, everybody and their mother would have said Ravens big time. The Steelers have this, right? They have this. Then the Steelers laid an egg against the Browns. Rodgers couldn't get it in the end zone, and then Derrick Henry has the game. He looks like Derrick Henry from 10 years ago. He has a whole game.
You know what today is?
What?
You know what today is?
His birthday.
Derrick Henry's birthday.
All right, and now you got Derrick Henry's birthday, and it's the Ravens going in to Pittsburgh against old man Rodgers. And what do you see there? You confident? How you feel about this one?
The Steelers,
Rodgers' final game.
The last 5, they've won 4 of the last 5 in Pittsburgh. So, and this is the best rivalry in football for I don't know how long. You can cut it with a knife. It's usually 7 points.
17-14. It's usually 17-14, right? 17-14 either way.
Yep, and it's usually if you look at it, it's usually somebody usually wins by 7 or 5 or 4 or 3. It's always a close game, very rarely a blowout. But I think this is going to be a good game. I think the Steelers should pull it out. I like the Steelers. If they don't, I think the two guys that need to get out of town without sleeping overnight there are probably Rodgers and Tomlin.
And what about
Rodgers and Tomlin?
What about Metcalf?
No, I think Metcalf.
He has to stop by court first.
Yeah.
He's got a ticket, so he ain't going out of town that quick. Yeah. You're not allowed.
Rodgers is brought in to do something, but Tomlin hasn't done nothing. You check Tomlin, and I know we don't get rid of coaches in Pittsburgh.
You're crazy that you want to get rid of Tomlin if they lose.
Wait a minute. I'm going to lay facts down with when I throw something out there. Dude hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. That's a decade.
Same as the Jets. Same as the Jets.
Same as the Jets.
No, not the same.
Jets have 15 years.
We haven't been there in the same time. We won the same amount, though.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a losing season in Pittsburgh since he's been there, but he hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years.
Do you think his teams that he had over all those years were teams that he overachieved with? Because I do.
I think the same problem Mike Sullivan had in Pittsburgh is I don't want to say they're stealing checks, but I think what happens is they get in this comfort zone where they like to play the veterans more and they still stick by it.
Living on his reputation. He's living on his reputation, is what you're saying.
Well, and let's see if he can do that somewhere else.
He'd have a job in 2 seconds. He gets fired after the game today. He'd have a job by halftime of the 4 o'clock game.
They're not firing him. They're going to look for compensation. They're going to come to an agreement, whatever that is. It's going to be a nice little sit-down talk tomorrow.
Yeah, and then where does he go, and what does he get?
Giants,
the guy,
top two pick.
The guy is not a Belichick, where you can kind of.
But that's not a knock. That's not a knock against you. Nobody's a Belichick. That's like saying he's not Vince Lombardi. That's not a knock. Listen, we got 3 wins. We got 5 wins total in this city.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, Pittsburgh's not used to holding division banners up. We're used to putting championships up in Pittsburgh, and when you haven't,
you sound like a Yankees fan.
Yeah, the worst.
Then there's other teams that sit on tradition.
We're hanging NBA Cup banners over here, Mark. We're hanging NBA Cup banners.
Yeah,
you don't know nothing about tradition. I'm a Jets fan.
Well,
we got the most tradition of anybody.
Consistency, the Jets fans out there with the
lack of excellence.
When's the last time the Wizards won anything?
Yeah, okay, fair. But the Wizards aren't the steal. Don't sit there and tell me we hang championship banners when you haven't won one in a long time.
Yeah, but you got to elevate the standard if you're a traditionalist team like the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Packers. Those teams, their standard is elevated. It's not the standard. So when you don't win a playoff game in 10 years, you got to say, hey, what's going on around here? We got to tweak this thing.
You know a better coach?
Teams, I don't know. I mean, Michigan's still looking for a coach, and they brought in Whittingham from Utah. Maybe that's the coach to turn that program around.
Okay.
When you look at the Jets, haven't been relevant since Richard Todd was a quarterback, unless you look at Mark Sanchez.
No, they were relevant with Rex. They were relevant with Rex.
Oh, man, the Chad Pennington years. The Chad Pennington years.
Those are the golden years.
Of Rex and Mark Sanchez. We pulled that stuff off. Can't wait. Bart Scott, can't wait.
You can't tell me that they're not relevant if they go to back-to-back championship games.
Beating New England in the playoffs. Whew.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez. That was the last time they were relevant.
Can't wait.
But Chad, come on, Chad Pennington ain't no Richard Todd.
Hey, we are Marshall.
He's a Rhodes Scholar.
We are Marshall.
Was injured half the time.
Listen.
Who's the quarterback?
Who's the quarterback now? They don't have a quarterback. They're picking somebody from the stands today. They picked someone from the stands today.
Nobody more cursed than the Jets. And listen, it goes down to magical season with Favre going down the tubes with an injury.
And
Aaron Rodgers running out with a flag and tearing his Achilles before the game even starts.
When they ruined Aaron Rodgers, I knew they were cursed. Literally the first play, the second play of the season.
Reporters on the sideline. This is what we do. We don't do good.
I just want to kiss you.
And then you don't let the kid.
That's the best guy we got. We can't even bring him out anymore.
What happened?
Yeah. What was the thing about the kid? Remember last
the girl who tried to. I was telling you. What she did? She missed it. She missed it, Mark. She missed it.
Come on.
You can't cause all that blue or whatever and cause all this news and make a big deal about it and go out there and miss the kick. And she went out there and she missed the kick. Bad
right
job.
Down the middle, shorted it. And it's like, it's classic. That's why you pick out somebody with weak legs. They went out and they picked out who's got the weakest legs.
Yeah, there's 2 things that should come into the forefront here. If you tank, you shouldn't be able to get a draft pick. And the other thing is, if you're a bad team, you definitely, and if you're a season ticket holder, you should get a bag with admission so nobody knows you're at the games.
I can't believe people. 2 weeks ago, Giants tickets were going for $7 with fees included. $7.
That means to get in and park and see the game, it's $107.
You know how much money the person that was selling those tickets paid for it, plus their PSL, plus forget it, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, the
$7.
And
they thanked the representative.
You can't even get a meal at McDonald's.
If you go to the game today, you're going to feel like you're in Dallas.
Oh yeah. But it doesn't really mean anything for Dallas either. The Giants win today, and they could go get knocked down to the 7 pick. Now, I don't root against my team when it's like, okay, we're going to, like, Brett roots against his team. He wants losses. I don't root against my team because you only get a finite amount of weeks to watch them every year, and you only get
the draft.
So I don't really,
the
but
draft
today,
is my Super Bowl.
I don't want. They better not win today. I'm not going from possibly 1 to 7.
I like the Greek Freak the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he kind of dunked with like 7 seconds or something, and
Yes.
And the Bulls took exception to it. He goes, "Hey man, I'm not in this. I'm in this business to play all out till that clock goes 0. What's wrong with that?"
Yeah,
it
was a nice quote. I like the quote after, and it really is when
it's the
guys
pros.
Think? Do you guys think there's some unspoken rules around here? No, we're playing basketball.
Yeah. And when it's the pros, you can't get on them. High school kids, you can get on them for that. When it's an 80-point win or something.
Job. It's like a job when we were younger, waiting tables or something. And nobody did nothing, and you were doing 3/4 of the table, and the guy brought the desserts.
Yeah, I was the guy doing nothing. I was the guy doing nothing.
Yeah, it's like
now you care. You didn't care the whole game.
Yeah. Oh, now
you're
gonna do something.
All of a sudden, you care when it's over.
On the apple pie.
This is what bothers you.
I was out back smoking. I was out back
of the game where he ran you over.
I was out back smoking a joint when they were doing the cake cutting ceremony, and then I came back in and they were like, "Where were you?" We was.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me just.
I'm the guy who rolled it for him.
All right, so Mark, you got what you got? Who do you got in the Atlanta New Orleans game?
Something tells me. Who dat? The Saints.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree in that one too.
Kirk Cousins has one of those games where he throws like 3 picks, and then they lose. They lose. I do too. It sounds like an 80. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like his name sounds like an 80s sitcom. Kirk's Cousins.
So it's either the who dat game or the you like that game.
I like the Saints, but let me tell you about Kirk Cousins. The dude wins wherever he goes.
He's a Hall of Famer. I was saying yesterday, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
We talked all about it yesterday, and he's just good.
He's a Hall of Famer. All right, and you like the Steelers. Steelers win. We talking to you next week about a playoff game?
No, wait. I got some good news for you, just so you know. Look at this. Ravens lost the last 3 games in Pittsburgh. You want to know Lamar Jackson's stats for those 3 games combined?
Is he playing?
2 touchdowns, 4 turnovers, 14 sacks. So, listen, you got history on your side today.
Well, not only that, maybe he can fall asleep again. Not only in the meeting, he can fall asleep on the field.
Oh, well,
Derrick
you got to be worried more about old man Rodgers for those 8 o'clock games. Let me tell you, that's the worst thing you got. You got old man after 8 o'clock. After halftime, you're done. Doesn't work for them.
Hey, before
40
I
years
let you
old.
go, I got to think. Before I let you go, 4 in a row for the Pens.
Yeah, it stopped with the Pens. The Islanders are the story around here with that 18-year-old kid scoring 2 goals, tying the game, getting the overtime winner. Forget he's 18 years old and his mom died. It's a whole thing. They're the toast of the town.
How great is life for Patrick Waugh and I saw that game when he was shown the door and they left him on the ice in Montreal. He said, "I'm not coming back." Shipped to Colorado, win some titles there. He's now the coach in the Islanders.
Listen, he's a hero in Montreal. You can't tell me Patrick Waugh's not a hero in Montreal.
Oh, one of the best ever.
Yeah, no, I liked Hasek better in that age. Brodeur was better too. Brodeur was better too.
Come on.
Bro, you don't think Brodeur was better?
Brodeur was good, but you're telling me Hasek was better than Waugh?
Nah, maybe I don't know. They were kind of different eras though too. But Hasek was a little bit later.
First of all, people don't even know where Buffalo is.
Yeah, they will today. The Jets are headed up there. Aaron Glenn's got himself to be the worst Jets coach in the history.
I love you guys. You know what? We've elevated the show. Nobody can touch this show, guys.
No, we're we have like 12 people watching right now, Mark. This is number 1 rated show right now.
Turn it up.
All right.
Stephen A. Smith. I love you guys.
Mark Mancini, XM Radio, Pittsburgh.
Good luck today,
LA
Mark.
Via Pittsburgh. Mark, we'll talk to you next week, buddy.
Pictures.
Hey, let me tell you something before I go. I expect you to wear a Brooklyn Nets shirt next week.
Yeah, I'll have it on. I'll have it.
Listen,
Later,
don't
Mark.
forget, whoever catches that last touchdown pass is going to have a very expensive Rodgers last touchdown ball today. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's going to be something.
Throw it into the crowd.
I love you.
Later, Mark.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Hold on one second. Mark Mancini, everybody. That was our boy, Mark Mancini. Brett's
Always
new
love
best
having
friend, Mark
Mark.
Mancini.
Dude, he's funny. Yeah.
He is, but I love
we're
Mark.
We're right on the same page, me and Mark. You know, that's.
Now
we'll
listen.
just talk over each other.
Yesterday. Oh yeah, no, sorry. I'm trying to get to trying to move the show along, Brett. Trying to keep it moving. What did you think about? What did you think about the game yesterday,
Mark? Wet. All of it was just rain,
right.
wrecked the football, wrecked the whole games of in whatever way. But it shows you that like we can all plan, whatever you want. But the weather comes in, someone gets hurt, the guy can't game plans. That's coaching. That's when the coaching comes in. To be honest with you,
what
the
top bowls?
You have to adjust. You have to either know that wait a minute, we're not capable of some of these things we planned all week because we can't even cut. They
were falling all over the place. They had to switch their cleats.
Let's probably not do a flea flicker on the 20-yard line when this guy keeps falling every time. Like all of it is it's just different coaching. You see someone who's been there and someone who hasn't been there.
But the big thing I heard after the game was all anybody was talking about was the
field goal.
What?
Sure.
Yeah,
55-yard field goal in a downpour.
The field goal and the San Francisco kicker too was terrible. These kickers were bad yesterday. Yeah. San Francisco kicker hit the upright on one of them. He made 18 in a row. He's one of the best kickers in the league. He missed one, and then he hit the upright on one.
You can't just rely on these guys like this. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but you can though. You can.
Not
because
in those
so
scenarios.
Good now.
No, you're right. You're right when it's perfect. But I'm sorry, when a ball is soaked, when it's like a 55 and it's a driving rain, left to right wind, that ball didn't even come off the guy's foot. When you have to plant correctly and a field's been soaked, you know how soaked San Francisco was? San Francisco was absolutely just drenched all day. At the end, great, they had it. They don't cover that field the same way.
But what about the ball that went off of McCaffrey's? It was in his brain. I mean, yeah, it was thrown a little bit behind him. That was the death knell for them.
It, though.
But he's got to make that play right out of him and right.
Expect that. That never happens. That's not what's going to happen. And even if it does happen, it fumbles out of bounds. That's the sports gods. That's like as soon as you saw it, we all thought the same thing. Oh my god!
Yeah, my god, because they were going in there on a 4-yard line.
No, it was it was such a we knew it was over right there. You knew that was the moment where it was about to be San Francisco going in. Nobody give it to McCaffrey. We know he's not going to fumble. Give it to McCaffrey. Nothing bad's going to happen. And it's the tip of the ball. And not only that, it still should have went out of bounds. It doesn't. Right in the guy's arms. He still could have made a play where it was not a full catch. Like if he bobbled it a little.
It was thrown behind him, but that's no excuse. That's got to be caught. And you can't say anything. It's McCaffrey, right? He's had a great season. He was knocked out for half the year. He's come back. Had a great season. So I was disappointed though in Purdy. They couldn't move the ball. Seattle defense was all over them all day. They got it. And Seattle, it could have even been worse, right? Because Seattle was on the 3-yard line on their first drive of the game, and they got stopped. It could have been even worse. Listen, I was disappointed, and you know what? It just shows that even the teams that I was saying were consistent, the only teams that were consistent, I said, was the Patriots, who were still okay. They're still on that list, and the Niners, and then I had the Bills in there, but they lost, and then I had other teams in there, but they lost. This thing is wide open heading into the playoffs.
Bills are not consistent. Bills are a great elite offense with a good enough defense. They're not consistent. That is not their quality.
No, the problem with the Bills is. Yeah,
you never would have said this, that the Bills can lose to anybody on any given week. That was never in your philosophy with the Bills. I feel that way right now.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because Josh Allen's been pulling them out of the fire week after week after week. What they do is they dig himself a hole in the first half, and then they have Josh Allen pull him out of the fire, and he almost did it again last week.
No, well, that's the whole thing, though. But one bad Josh Allen pass, and the whole thing falls apart. You know what I mean? Perfect thing.
They're not a great team. They got a great quarterback. They got a great quarterback. They're not a great team.
But you can't expect them to go, 10 for 10 or 100% or be perfect. They are going. You have to have somebody else who can make that play in that scenario. If you know it's only one guy, it makes it a lot easier on the defense.
And that 2-point conversion last week was huge because they could have gone into today against the Jets, who obviously are a disaster, with a chance, an unlikely chance, but a chance at the 1 seed. Now they're basically buried back in the 5 seed. They're gonna have to go on the road for 3 games.
He's hurt.
Yeah,
Allen's hurt now. No, he really is. He hurt his foot.
Oh yeah, he was hurt last week. He was hurt last week.
He's not. No, but he got hurt during the game. Even worse. Didn't practice. No, he's out. He's out versus the Jets. He's not playing.
Yeah, but he's out versus the Jets because they can only basically go from to the 5 and the 6. It's not that big of a deal.
Clearly. Clearly. So in some ways,
The Chargers are sitting there. Herbert's sitting too.
Yeah.
And they're a 13.5 point favorite, underdog at Denver.
No,
I looked at that. I was like, oh, wow.
Be. I'm sorry, they should be. At this point, we talked about it. It's about staying healthy. You know what you are. You don't need practice. You need a little bye week, especially if you're not getting one. You need one to get everybody healthy. So, if you don't have anything on the line today, I am all for and Josh Allen. Well,
but they do have something on the line, but right?
No,
the Chargers do.
He has a consecutive game streak.
Yeah, you can't be worried about that.
I wonder if he comes out. No.
He's gonna come out for the first snap.
I believe
so. That's cheesy when they do. That's cheesy. That's something
let's see. I agree. I think that's ridiculous. Like that's even worse. And now the other guy doesn't get credited with the start.
Yeah, and that's like Favre and Strahan with the sack record. Like, come on, don't go diving down. And that's another thing that's going to be broken. That's going to be broken.
We have that today, right?
Yeah.
No, it's going to be. You don't know that. He's been waiting for 3 weeks. He's been on one sack for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I think he gets it. I think.
Aaron Rodgers.
They let him run by him. They let him run by
him. They say Aaron Rodgers avoided getting sacked at the expense of he probably would have won the game.
He doesn't want to be linked to Brett Favre anymore. How much is he going to be linked to Brett Favre in his career? He doesn't want another one.
No, he won't. No, but he was trying not to. Like, there's points where he threw the ball away in scenarios where he probably could have tried to make a better play on it.
He'd be better off sending a dick pic, Brett. He'd be better off sending a dick pic and be linked like that than be linked in this, diving on the ground to let the guy get the sack.
No. See, Rodgers is different. He just, with his mind, sends dick pics. He's like deep.
Well, yeah, if he smokes the peyote in the cave.
Get in trouble for that when you just manifest the dick pic.
Rodgers is one of the weirdest people out there. He's one of the weirdest people out there. He's like, no, I'm not coming to the training camp. I'm not coming to the OTAs. I'll be in the cave smoking peyote.
I'll be in Egypt doing ayahuasca. Sorry, I would. Oh, really? That's what day training camp was? Oops, that's the same day as my vacation. That's like what I get walking into my office.
Yeah, hey,
I didn't.
It's some crazy stuff. He's a lunatic.
He's like, it's already booked. Sorry.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't do it. Like, is this his last game? He left the door open. He said that they asked him about it. He said, well, if I want to play, I'm going to play. I mean, how long are you going to go for? Come on.
He wants to win. It's going to, I can see him being the type of guy to come back only because he didn't want to go down a loser. But the truth is, Bob, only one team walks off happy at the end of the year.
But
only one team.
He doesn't need to win a Super Bowl.
And it's not going to be him. He's been chasing it. Exactly. So the reality of what he wants, of walking off as a winner, I don't know if that's, obviously if they win today and they go and say lose in the first round, that's like his goal at this point. How pathetic is that? Like, his goal isn't even to win the Super Bowl. I know he thinks it is, but his goal is to not go out a loser. I want him to go out such a loser today. He
didn't want. I get it why he wouldn't want to go out like he did with the Jets. And now Jets is just a footnote. Now it's just a footnote. Now it's just a footnote in his story. It won't even be remembered really that he was on the Jets.
You walk off a loser. You left a loser. Like you look back on careers. What you remember is Elway walking off after a championship, Manning walking off after a championship.
Yeah, but did
Tom Brady going to another team? He wanted to be Tom Brady. And he's the opposite.
He's not Tom Brady.
He's exactly what everybody said Tom Brady
He's better. He's better than Tom Brady. He's better, more talented than Tom Brady.
No, it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter anyway, Brett, because who did Aikman? Do you remember Aikman's last game? Remember Aikman's last game?
Nobody's going to remember that. What?
You remember Aikman's last game? No, you don't. No. You remember Peyton Manning's last game? No, you don't. So it doesn't really matter.
Peyton Manning, you're such a Peyton Manning's last game. Of course you do. Bob was a Super Bowl.
I get that. Won it. But that's what I'm saying. Those are the only guys you remember.
But that's the only thing that was going to satisfy him is what I mean. And it was never obtainable. And it's just funny to see a man think something was the way it was going to go when it was never even an option. And that's why I look today and go, I think he could come back with the delusion of, oh no, I'm going to walk off a winner still. Like, I don't know where that goes. He's got nowhere. I hope they lose. I'm sorry, Mark. I hope they lose. I hope Rodgers is upset, and I hope he blames other people like he always does at the end. And I hope that's his last press conference as an NFL quarterback is blaming like the coaching staff or whatever. It'd be perfect.
All right, hold on one second. I'm just gonna bring up the game here. We're gonna start review the games first on the field here. Hold on one second. Let me just delete this. You know what happened? They better slept late, and I didn't get everything ready. And now, there we go. Why is none of this?
I know. When Bob says we're going on at 11, I don't even think about it until 11.
You know what? I looked at it, I see Chris DiStefano is watching, and Chris knows that when I say I'm going to be there at 11, I'm going to be there at 12.
I know.
So, let me see. Try one more thing. All right, so we'll do it this way. Listen, hold on. Let's start with oh man, I'm a disaster today. Let's start with the Jets, right? The Jets.
Okay.
You got Aaron Rodgers.
Big game.
You got big game in Buffalo. They're only a 7.5 point underdog because of the Bills have nothing really to play for.
Josh
20
Allen's
something degrees, 20-something degrees, nice day, sunny. It's not going to be terrible. Can the Jets? Okay. I mean, can the Jets win? Can Aaron Glenn needs to be? I would fire Aaron Glenn. I know you don't want to. He doesn't. He's clueless, Brett. He's clueless. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I am all for we have a guy that we want to go get. We're going to go get that guy. That guy's going to go get his quarterback. Like, there's no reason not to. Like, Aaron Glenn is not, like, entrenched in the Jets. He hasn't done anything good for the Jets. But the truth is, and what I know and what the Jets have pretty much already came out and said is, Aaron Glenn is coming back next year. So what I want at this point is say, do I want him to? No. Do I want the best coach out there? Yeah, I do. Is that Mike Tomlin? Is that, there's a bunch of options. Let me be honest, there's a lot of coaches coming out this year, and there's going to be some options. I like consistency. So if you're going to stick with him, you got to give this guy a shot. You throw him in there, let him have it, give him his quarterback, let him have his team. He gutted it. And now we got to build. And honestly,
yeah, but I mean, he's lost. He's lost, but he's out there saying, "Oh, we're getting better." You're not getting better.
Bob, he's saying the lot.
No, I don't think he's. That's not what he's supposed to say. He's supposed to.
Welcome to America in 2026.
Yeah, but Brett, do you want to?
You think you hear every day at the podium at the White House?
I get that, but do you want to hear that from your coach, and do you want to hear him say, "Go out there and be like, yo, we sucked today. We sucked."
Bob,
now we're getting better. This is how it always
works. The reason we don't like Aaron Glenn today is because of the lack of wins. When he wins next year, he can go out there and act like Bill Belichick, and we'll love it. He can act like Mike Tomlin, we'll love it. He can act like Mike McDaniels, and we'll love it. 3 distinctly different things. It doesn't matter. The only time people like them is when they win games. And so if he doesn't win games, nobody's going to care what he acts like or doesn't. He's going to be more of to be honest with you, closer to Deion Sanders when it comes to press conferences when they win. I'm a little worried if they actually won games. I'm a little nervous. Aaron Glenn's going to be this, showpiece going nuts on the sideline, acting like a like. I like humility. I'm okay, act like.
So tell it how it is. Tell us that you sucked. That last week or the following week. You get blown out of the building in these games.
You're asking a guy to act someone different than himself. These guys come up there. I want to act however he is. Does that work? I don't know. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, see you later. He's going to get another year of this. I know it. I mean, the carousel is the worst. It's the killer of all franchises. The franchises of, you don't bring in a new head coach, Bob. You bring in a new everything. That is a very difficult thing to do year after year. I'm talking everything. And they're the ones who say, no, I don't want it like that. I want it like this. And the first year is just building it the way they want it. They don't even have their team. They don't have anything. They don't know where anything is. Is he good? Is he bad? Wins and losses. That's all it's going to matter. I don't care what he says.
Hey, listen. Okay, so now the Giants get the Cowboys at home. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be, hold on 1 second. I don't know if it's going to be. Oh, baby goat. What are you running around for? Oh, we got an injury. We got to add someone to the injured list.
It's all right.
It's a 2-year-old. Add to the injured list.
Just like the Giants Cowboys.
Yeah, so Giants Cowboys. Listen, the Giants. I don't want them to win today. Like I said, I'm not somebody who roots against my team, and because I know that there's only a finite amount of games that I'm going to ever get to watch. So I don't want to see them lose. I don't think they do these draft picks right anyway. Right? The Giants have had how many top 5 picks? And like you said that, but we lost. We won 3 games this year. They looked good last week. Jackson Dart looked good last week. I need them to lose today. You can't go to 6 or 7 picks.
What are you personally getting out of a Giants win today?
No, today. That's what I said. That's my point. Today, I'm not rooting for a win.
Okay, I got it.
Because, Brett, I can't sit there and root against them. I mean, it's just.
I get that. I can root for a competitive game that, whatever. But it's different. I know I'm losing these games. I don't have an option. Me rooting for the Jets is what? I get it, but it's pointless. I know right now I need a franchise quarterback. You have a franchise quarterback. You can win games, and it's not going to matter that much in terms of you're going to get a piece and fill it with the best available guy. The Jets have the chance at going from having the guy who they want to getting some other guy that is like the third guy they wanted. And that's the difference of being stuck for the next 5 years with a Sam Darnold or a Zach Wilson, or being given a Jaden Daniels or, Brock Purdy or whatever. So it is huge, Bob. 1 pick difference is monstrous for the Jets, whereas I don't feel that way for the Giants.
And I know right now you say, okay, I wouldn't mind being like 8 wins, 9 wins, right? Having competitive games late in the season, but go ask the Cowboys fans how that is, because they're not happy. The Cowboys do this every year. They're stuck in mediocrity.
You don't want to be. No, the mediocrity is the worst, and especially when you have ownership that has sat on their hands the way that theirs have, when they don't like to deal with free agents. They don't deal in free agency, the Cowboys, like ever. And so when you're only drafting players and your draft picks, which they're good at drafting, but they're getting mid-round picks, and to have mid-round picks, and then the key is you got to keep those guys. If you don't keep those guys, you don't have free agents coming. And so they think they can go on this ongoing cycle of picking mid-round, being better, and hitting championship. No, you need that next elite guy. Dak's maxed out. You're never getting more out of Dak.
No, you're right. You're not. Dak's
so I don't know.
He's turned on. They're going to have to start looking for another quarterback soon, right? He's been around for a while. He's got his big contract a couple years ago.
Got his extension.
And Dak's will get you 9 or 10 wins.
CD's got his extension. George Pickens going to be the big question this year. Do they bring Pickens back? And if they don't, Pickens about to get a big contract for somebody else. And if they put all that money into that, how are you going to build your defense? And their defense was awful. So
the Cowboys always have these questions every year. It's always these questions, and no matter what, the owner screws it up. And then I've said it multiple times: the Cowboys are never going to win anything until he's in the ground. I guess his family would get it, right? I guess his family gets it, but they're never going to win anything.
Doesn't mean. I guess you don't know, and he's the one who I can't wait, because he's the one when he dies where they're going to be like, "Oh my God, he spent all the money. That's why he didn't do it. We don't have any money."
Yeah.
At the end, it's going to be like, we don't have nothing. It was just borrowing. That was all debt.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right,
so oil for 20 years.
So now we got another game going on today, which the Bears, I guess, have something to play for. Bears, Lions. The Lions are 3.5-point underdog. I'm not sure if the Bears have much movement there's a lot of movement that can be made within some of these conferences. Like the Chargers can go up and down, but they're not going to play. But the Bills can go up and down. The Giants can go in the draft up and down. This game, you got the Bears at home.
All right, and you have the Lions, and you look and you go, if they lose that game and move like up and down into that spot, sometimes you go, oh yeah, but they're still going to have to play that game away. No, that top seed may lose that game. That makes you the top seed.
Yes, if they lose that game. The top seed gets the bye, though. You're talking about the 2 seed would lose the game.
No, right. But all of it, the 2 seed or the top seed in the next round, whatever it is, you shift right into that. You could go home field the home way.
If the Bears win, they lock into the 2 seed.
But even without having that, with another team losing, you can still be the home team throughout the whole thing. Like, there's a big difference between the 2 and the 4. Because all of a sudden now someone else, so it really, as much as you're like, then it's matchups. Certain teams just don't match up well versus other teams. So I think it's less about
for the Niners to lose that game last night.
Oh, that's incredible. Huge for Seattle to win it. Seattle just gave themselves a path to the Super Bowl, and I don't think they had one without having the home field advantage.
And now the difference between 5 and 6 for the Niners is big too, because if they get the 5 seed, right, they go to Tampa or they go to Carolina, which is a lot easier than if they get the 6 seed, they go to the Bears. Well, which would be a hell of a game next week, a hell of a wild card game. Niners, Bears, wild card weekend.
I think that's what's going to happen.
And then that would be the game of wild card weekend, I think. And then, who knows? Because you got the Niners, who are more experienced playoff team. The Bears are kind of the darlings of the NFC this year, replacing the Lions from last year. We'll see. Do the Lions come out and play hard today? Do they play? Does the coach play hard? Does he take his risks? That they just got eliminated.
Full risk, if not more. Don't care, nothing to lose.
Full risk, you think, or full
full risk.
Think all right, like going for it on 4th and 20 on your own 15, like that's full risk for the Lions.
Today it's just for practice.
It's
just
like practice today. It's like Alabama the other night going for it in the 4th 4th and whatever on their own 20-yard line, and they were still in the game.
No. Dan Campbell, you don't even know what's happening with Dan Campbell.
He's playing Madden. Dan Campbell's playing Madden.
He's gonna punt. He's punting on 2nd down just to throw people off. I'm just messing with you.
Just in case it's a bad snap, we want to get it back in. I wasn't sure the Niners were going to get that punt
just in case we
off.
need to. You backed up. You do the Randall Cunningham 3rd down punt, the shotgun punt on 3rd down. They used to do that. So they'd be backed up against their one. They know if they went to punt it, they weren't going to get it off because it's just too tough. And so they, on 3rd down, instead of throwing it or running a play, they just have Randall Cunningham punt it without anybody knowing.
He punted it like 80 yards down to like the 2-yard line.
No, he made it 90-something, I believe. It was one of the longest punts.
I'll tell you what, I forget who was on the call for the game yesterday, the Bucs game. They had me thinking at the end of the game that punt was going to get blocked. They're like, oh, we know how bad these special teams are. There was 10 seconds left in the game, and they're going, oh, if you're a Bucs fan, don't be safe yet.
Can we talk about that? That was a terrible decision how they played that. Like, that's so dumb. You have to have a guy back there to fair catch that immediately.
Well, they came after the punt. They went for the block.
No,
they came after the punt. That's what happened.
They were not even close. That guy was punted that ball. He caught and punted that ball without even caring about how far it went.
Because they stopped the block because they brought 11. They were trying to run. It was a numbers game.
Bob, this is the same scenario we talked about weeks ago. Back the guy up 10 more yards. Punt, snap it all the way back. They'll never get to him. I don't get it.
Or just run backwards. If he turns around and runs and then slides down at the 10-yard line, he eats up to 5 seconds.
No, that wasn't enough. There was more time than that.
There was more time than I thought there was going to be. You're right.
And they would have kicked the field goal and won the game if something went wrong. So you're wrong in that.
Or you take the safety.
Punter's hand. You want a punter on the final play of the game to be running around in the back.
Well, they have him take the safety a lot of times.
I'd give you that if it was someone, but the fact that you're snapping it to the punter that's just not happening. But on the other end, the way it really played out was that ball was punted. They didn't have a guy to field it. They let it bounce around instead of, catching it right away and stopping the clock and having that extra 5 seconds, which does matter when you only need a field goal.
Not when you're on the 10-yard line.
They weren't. They would. You're right. They would have been on the 10-yard line with an extra 5 seconds, or 6 seconds, or 7 seconds. I'm sorry, Bob. I'm just saying. It was coaching. You could see the Tampa Bay has been there before, and you can see Carolina has not in that. Were
you rooting for Alabama the other day to run your play on the last couple plays? Throw it out of bounds, a fumble, forward fumble.
I was just hoping. We just don't have a big following south of the Mason-Dixon line. That's our only issue, I believe. They don't really like our politics.
I still got to find out what the rule is on that. I still got to find out what the rule is on that. So
all of it. Oh, I'm telling you, that's a solid one. Like, just all good.
It's an interesting one. I'll give you that. I think it's unsportsmanlike conduct if you're going to throw it forward and
like that would have been the perfect scenario at the end of that game where it's like throw it right over the middle. You have 10 seconds, just a quick slant over the middle. The guy runs and throws it right away, and again, it's over.
If you think about it, that's what Alabama did, right? They threw it out of bounds, but they just went it bounced backwards, and it was a safety.
Right,
it backfired.
Right, no, same difference. Now you having intent. The referees are not throwing flags for intent.
No, but they do throw flags for intent.
Rules. No. The rule is it went backwards and it landed out of bounds. How it went backwards and the guy physically throwing the ball? Why is that wrong? Well, he doesn't know that. He thought there was supposed to be a guy there. The play was there's supposed to be a guy there, and the guy wasn't there.
You can argue. It's like you could say that though for any intentional grounding. He's supposed to be there. Where was he?
No, that's not intentional grounding. That is a forward pass, Bob, and the rules have just changed, and you are right. And that is a backwards. You're so right. But no, that is a backwards pass. It does not mean anything. It's a lateral. It goes out of bounds. The clock stops. Nothing wrong happened. The ball is spotted where it crossed the boundary.
So now let's bring up here the playoff scenarios. We bring them up here in the NFC, and you got. Oh, hold on, cancel, publish. Okay, so you got here's the NFC. Here's how it looks now. You got Seattle obviously with the 1 seed. Bears are at the 2 seed. This is before yesterday, but either way, the Niners are down to the 5 seed. They're gonna get the 5 or the 6 seed. And the Rams, look at those 5 and 6 seeds, Brett. That's why Carolina or Tampa and is not winning in one of these games. They're not beating the Rams or the 49ers.
You're wrong, Bob. Bob, you say that all you want, and then a driving rain comes into Tampa. You're right, but these
and anybody
guys,
can beat
and
anybody in this
Baker-
league. It's wide
and,
open.
And on the first play, the guy fumbles at Tampa, has the ball on the 10. It's a quick touchdown. Next drive, 3 and out. Tampa's got the ball back. They score a touchdown. It's 14-0. There's only been 7 minutes in this game. Bob, that's playoff football. So you can say that all you want, but when that ball bounces early in the wrong way, in a way that Vegas didn't expect, it changes the whole dynamic right away. And all of a sudden, you're playing from 14 points down. You're playing catch-up. You can't play your game when you're playing catch-up because you can't go running the ball now. You got to start passing the ball. And so defenses are on their heels.
Which
They've been
the
on the
Rams
field too
love
long.
to do. Which the Rams love to do.
Things
Rams
happen.
would kill them if they throw the ball.
Guys get hurt early. Things are just, it's a very weird game. Concussion protocols. A guy can get hit, be pulled out of that game, and he doesn't even have an option to come back. So it's just.
No, you're right. You're right.
This is the
Obviously,
best part.
obviously, it's not an impossible thing. They could get beat.
No, but I believe it's a lot more likely than you think, and I think the line is going to be a lot tighter than you realize for any of those games.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be 3. It'll be 4.5 or something like that. 3.5.
Especially a team going on the road playing, across the country, and I know they're better. That's not the point. It evens that matchup so hard, and especially in the playoffs, and especially in places of, big time plays. And Tampa's that place. And I can see a loss coming.
You think so? You really? I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if the NFC South wins. But you don't want that though, because you want the better team to advance. So you get a better game next week.
Mm-hmm.
The
next game's a blowout. The next game's a blowout.
Yeah, and that's what's that's what's great about the NCAA tournament. But that's what sucks about it.
The next week's like the Niners playing the Chargers in the Super Bowl.
Listen, I think the Chargers are good, and I think the Chargers I think the AFC is kind of wide open. Let me bring the AFC up here. But the AFC, you got the Broncos. I think they have a inexperienced quarterback who's never been there before. You got the Patriots have an inexperienced quarterback, never been there before. You got the Jaguars, who they've blown it up in the playoffs though. They sucked in the playoffs when they got there.
Who's more likely to be the guy to be the Jaden Daniels, take them to where you weren't expecting them this year? Is it Bo Nix or is it Drake May?
I think it's Drake May. I think he's just shown me that he's the most accurate pick quarterback in the league. He's done it now. He's convinced me at least a little bit of that he can be this kind of guy and do this in the playoffs. But you really don't know until you get there. You don't know until you get there. That's basically the bottom line. Is you have no idea if he can do it or if he can't until you see him do it. It's a different animal in the playoffs. It really is. It's a different animal. So, I mean, here's the AFC field. Steelers, Texans. The Texans have a good defense, but I'm not on the Texans really. I like the Chargers.
They're the sleeper one, yeah.
And the Bills are kind of blowing it. The Bills blew it.
I think the Jaguars are going to be a tough game.
I think the Broncos could be upset in the divisional round.
I believe so. I believe they could be.
I think the Broncos definitely could. And then you got the Ravens or the Steelers. If one of them gets in, they're not good. It's not the old Ravens. You think it's the old Ravens and the Steelers?
No, it's the Ravens that could make a little run. I don't see the Steelers doing anything.
Ravens were everybody's Super Bowl pick going into the season.
No,
how quickly everybody forgets.
Bob, they're going to be one of only 4 teams to ever make the playoffs after going 1-5.
Wow. Yeah. Because usually they were
0-3.
Yeah. Oh no, they won. They won the first game, I think.
And 1-5. But let me tell you this, and they'll be only I think the 4th team. And one quarterback did it on 2 different teams. So one quarterback did it twice.
Rodgers? No, probably not Rodgers.
Let's just say it's Alex Smith.
Oh, Alex Smith.
2 different teams, Washington
and the Niners.
Washington and the Niners, both 1-5, both brought him back. So take that for what it's worth.
All right. So I mean, hey, listen, you never know, right? The Giants are gonna, you got to lose if you're the Giants. The Jets. Aaron Glenn is if they lose, he's the worst first-year head coach in Jets history.
Oh, I love Bob. That's great. That means he's going to be the most improved coach in the second year in Jets history. So you're just seeing it wrong. Like you're just missing the whole point. Like he's going to have the best draft pick of any coach in the history of the second year for the Jets. He's going to have the biggest upside, nowhere to go but up. He's going to finally have his team. He's going to bring in a new defensive coordinator, which they don't have now. They're going to bring in a new Bob, this is it. He gets his shot next year, better or worse. If the Jets bring in Vince Lombardi next year, they're going to suck. Just so you know.
But you can't suck if you're Aaron Glenn. You can't. You can't suck if you're Aaron Glenn again.
No,
you can't
I
do
don't mean that. I mean that they're not going to go win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, that's not even true because I truly believe that any team, I believe more than any time in the NFL, any one of these teams can be like the Patriots or be like the Redskins or be like the Colts almost, where out of nowhere, a team that's unexpected because the right linemen are healthy, because their defense is whatever, because they finally got that quarterback. I believe that it's a possibility. The Jets have done it wrong every time forever, but I have faith that they can flip it to not just a 6-11 or 12 season, and they can flip it into a 10-8 season. I believe that. I do.
Listen, I don't think so, but either way, listen, he's the terrible coach. I'm not betting on that. But the game I'm looking forward to.
If you draft the equivalent of Drake May and they do the Drake May things, and you go, wait a minute, then you turn around and you go, it's not because Aaron Glenn, it's because this freaking guy's great. We need a guy who's great. We don't have a guy who's great.
You're right. You can't win with crappy players.
You're never going to win until you get great guys. And if they pick wrong and they don't get someone who's great, he's out. And if they do, then he's going to be the greatest coach in the history of the Jets. And guess what? He's the same guy. He's the same guy. Either way, he's just riding somebody else's, their talent. That's what we do. It's coaches. I'm a manager. That's what I do.
We are 30 minutes before game time, before kickoff. Let's go out to bat Signataro in Buffalo, and then we're going to go check out in Atlanta and see what's going on the field half hour before game time.
Had Buffalo completed its comeback bid against the Eagles on Sunday, they would have been playing this weekend for a shot at the AFC East title and the #1 seed. Instead, they find themselves in 7th place with not a lot of movement possible. They can move up to the 5 seed with a win over the Jets and the San Diego loss to Denver. Jets come into today's game with only 3 wins in Aaron Glenn's first season. If they lose today, it'll be the worst record ever for a first-year Jets coach. That's not a list Aaron Glenn wants to be at the top of.
The Saints and Falcons come into today's game as the 2 hottest teams in the NFL, not going to the playoffs. Falcons, winners of 3 straight, and the Saints have won 4 in a row. These 2 teams might not be going to the playoffs, but this game will determine the NFC South division winner. Falcons win, Carolina will win the NFC South. If the Saints win, Tampa Bay will be the NFC South champion. Both offenses have been able to move the ball recently. It's our 6th in the NFL with an average of 390.7 yards per game, while the Falcons are 7th with 387.7, showing both offenses have been able to move the ball recently. On the flip side, the Saints are allowing an average of 270.7 yards per game during that span, which ranks 4th in the league. The Falcons are allowing an average of 340.3 yards per game, which checks in 19th. All time in this rivalry, each team has won 56 regular season games, and I expect today's game to be just as tight, the Falcons and the Saints with the NFC South in the balance. Should be a fun afternoon. In Atlanta, I'm Deontay Guthrie. Bob, Brett, back to you guys in New York.
So, listen, that's our boy right there. That's my boy right there, Deontay.
Set up.
Now, I love that. I'm looking forward to that game. That's the game that I'm focusing on today, and the night game. I probably am looking forward to the night game better just because it's Ravens Steelers and it just has the history.
Yeah.
But that Atlanta game is going to be tight. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to like one play, either a field goal or a fumble or something crazy.
I'm watching the Giants game today too because I truly believe it's going to be something similar, and I think the Giants are going to really put themselves in a bad position today. Just watch. Bad position today.
The Giants, you think they win? You think they play well?
Yeah. I think they put themselves right in that spot, and the Cowboys are more than welcome to, let them do it to themselves.
Because the Giants can still get the 1 pick. They lose, and the Raiders lose, right? I think they... No, they don't get it, right?
No, they get it. They get it.
How do they get it, though? When they beat them head-to-head.
No, they get it. The Giants get it if the Raiders win and the Giants lose. And the Giants are going to win. Someone else is going to, lose. And the Giants are going to be at the 5 pick, maybe 6. That's what's happening today.
Ugh. And listen, the top 5 pick is not. Is that
part of me would rather have the Giants have the first pick. The more I think about it, the more I want the Giants have the first pick because the Giants are more willing to trade with the Jets probably than anybody else. So I don't know where that leaves the Jets or if they have a chance at the 1. I believe it's just the 2, but You know what? Here's the future. Here's the,
There
best,
we go.
the best draft
This is
pick.
the number
Here's
5 draft
Bob's-
pick.
The best draft pick Bob ever had.
She doesn't.
Right
Her
here.
hair's a mess. You know what she said yesterday? She said I had the show on or something. She goes, "It's Uncle Brett."
Hey.
Say
what's
hi.
up,
Remember we
babe?
practiced yesterday. Say hi. Okay. Hold on.
I know,
Okay.
I do the
She's
same
not
thing
thinking.
every time I
Okay.
see-
What's wrong?
It's the same reaction every girl has to me always.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's wrong? Oh,
I'm
baby.
used to this.
We're gonna do see you together, right?
I apologize.
We're gonna do see you together. Okay. You don't have to. You
See
kicked
ya.
my wires out now twice. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay,
See
go
ya. I
ahead.
still hear
I
you.
thought you wanted to do
You're
it.
still good.
Okay.
See ya.
We practiced
She
last night and
loves
everything.
it.
She was gonna do the see ya. She loves
They
the see
always
ya.
love.
And she got on camera and she couldn't do it.
No,
Hey,
you gotta.
listen, we gotta work on it.
We gotta record that, Bob.
Gotta
We gotta
work
record
on
that
it.
and plug it in.
We gotta work. Yeah. You're right.
That's how you don't go going live on that's on you.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
not
listen.
on
What
her.
are we gonna do? She was just here. I didn't know what she wanted. But so that's it for us. You got anything else, Brett?
I'm good. Let's just go.
You
We
good.
got some
All right.
stuff.
Week 18.
guys.
This is it for Brett Grasso. I'm Bob Walters. Thank you to our 2 field reporters, Matt Signatero and Deontay Guthrie. I'm Bob Walters from the Brian Gunzel Studios. See ya.